Okay, let's get started there, folks. Ran a little behind today, um, and, but a couple minutes. But it's all good. I'm still here. Welcome to another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we got uh, some more Pega studying, as always. Starting here at the 2 o'clock hour, or at least 2 o'clock my time. We have just some standard uploads and maybe some editing at 3. Probably not though. Um, and then we got some Warframe after that. Um, so first things first, let's go ahead and make sure that you all can see the Pega website right at this moment in time because it's not really showing it. There we go. Okay. Now, I will, for anybody that might be coming into the stream like right now, maybe you're interested in Pega and you're like, oh, you're working on Pega, you know, teach me, oh guru. Yeah, probably not. um, so I wanted to, I typically do this at the very beginning of all these videos, which is, if you're watching this on YouTube, after, the YouTube videos afterwards on my playlist. Um, I'm working towards getting my system architect certification. Okay. I may try for the business architect as well, seeing that there's really only 2 modules um, that are not covered in the system architect. So after we get, pretty much done with the business architect for the most part, except for those 2 modules, then we'll switch on over to business architect, take care of those 2 modules, and then we'll continue on with the system architect. Now, um, well, one of my friends mentioned that, hey, Jim, while, they say that you should be able to do the system architect, and take care of the certification, you might want to consider just doing the senior system architect as well, just to kind of get a better understanding of everything that goes on in the system architect in order to pass the certification. Um, you know, we've been having some problems with the system architect modules and challenges. Um, on this channel, on this tutorial run through. Um, so I might just take up her advice on it because, to be honest, my first attempt at getting the system architect um, failed. I was like 6 questions under the minimum, and that was just unfortunate at the time. But I did feel like I was being rushed into it, and the trainer at the time wasn't really the best, in my particular opinion, and some of my other batchmates as well. But it's all water under the bridge at this point. Okay. Um, I have to keep on moving forward and seeing if I can actually you know, get that certification so that I can put it on my resume and, people will be like, oh, yay, hey, you got it, awesome, you're one step further towards being employed. Um, okay, so, pardon me real quick, I need to blow my nose real quick. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so couple points to address. This is not endorsed by Pega, so don't think that I'm getting, some kind of benefit from them. They're not paying me or anything along those lines for this. Okay, so uh, don't have that thought line in your mind. I mean, if they want to contact me, via my email, they're welcome to. But I'm not expecting them to, um, you know, uh, I'm not really expecting anything from them. So, um, you know, plus, I wouldn't even know what they would be willing to offer either. So, it's really it's not my place. So, like I said, if they want to contact me and discuss, sure, but for the most part, yeah, no. I'm not looking for anything special along those lines. Um, Second point, because I'm going for my certification in system architect, I'm pretty much brand new to Pega for the most part. Okay. Yes, I've had some real world experience with it, but do not consider me an authorized training partner. Okay. Um, you know, um, we are going to be going through all these modules and challenges that they provide, and in the hopes that we'll be able to um, tackle everything um, uh, in the hopes of getting that certification, but that's it. That's all that you should necessarily be expecting from me. We're going to be kind of just going through these missions, and maybe I'll try to cover some additional like test notes or something along those lines and see, just kind of continue my prep to get to certifications. Okay. What I do afterwards, I don't know. Maybe maybe I'll continue on with some other missions that are available, try to go for another certification. Maybe I'll switch gears and go into trying to build program out a game. I have a background in that too, um, I don't know, but we'll see. But for now, let's go ahead and get started on our system architect journey, shall we? Now, we are currently working in the low code app builder extended, and yesterday we were trying to work on the creating a child class case challenge. However, we ran into some problems with that. Um, Down here at the very bottom under confirm my work, when I advanced to the resolution stage, I got an error and it would not let me proceed on with that. Now, I can see about maybe trying to go through this again, try to resolve this somehow, but when I tried it before, um, it didn't really let me. Let me try to quickly run through it. Now this is going to be a speed through. Okay, just letting you know. Okay, don't um, I'm not really going to be saying much. I'm going to be really in focus mode to try to um, to try to take care of this. If of course they you know have a speedy um, instance, but let's face it, that hasn't always been the case. Then after that, we will proceed on, um, to the next um, to the next module after that, identifying duplicate cases, which is, according to this, 5 minutes and 5 minutes. So you are able to see that, right? Yeah, okay. But let's see if I can get this to work first. If I run into the exact same error, then I don't know what I can really do about it. Um, so um, I'm expecting once this gets loaded, that uh, I'm not gonna have um, uh, everything that I worked on yesterday won't be available, or it won't. It'll be a brand new instance, meaning all of the work that I did yesterday is gonna be gone. So I need to kind of work through all of this, fairly quickly to get it up and running. So okay. Okay, that's getting loaded in. Let me make sure that you all can see it. Yep, it's looking good. Okay. Okay, going into the um, assistance request, we're going to do the more add process, new process. Um, right, it was under service, right? Yeah. Add process, new process. Oh wait, it's showing the create service case here. So looks like it's holding on to the instance that I made yesterday, which is a little problematic. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and take this process and delete it. We're going to try to start fresh for the most part. All right, so there we go. Uh, Step more automation. It was create case and select. And then we do create service case. Interesting that the instance um, wasn't completely removed, which is interesting. You would think that they would remove it after a time, but I guess not. Um, right, so over here we want to select service. And then we are all done there. We can delete this one. So delete that. And then we click on save. And then we're going to be moving on to the service case type. So we are all done there. So moving on to service. We're going to settings. We are going to general. We are changing the availability to show a new menu, which, you know, it's unselected here already. In the general section under availability, click unclear the show a new menu checkbox, which disables service case. Or clicking save here. Now, I saw in like one of the, I looked it up a little bit more. I saw that someone said, after you get done with your service, you want to go back to the assistance request and click save there as well. Not quite sure why that would be the case, um, but maybe it needed to do that in order to handle the connection between the two. I'm not really sure, but now we want to do the log off, and then we want to log back in here real quick. That was not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. So logged in, logged back out again. Okay, so we are going to go to preview, create, the service isn't there. Click on the assistance request. Now we're going to fill in all of our information here, right at the very start here, because we're already having some issues with our step 4. Okay, it's not working the way it should be working. So flat tire, selecting that person. Okay, I saw that Boston, Massachusetts was, one that had a lot of the um, information. So that's one large card number, right? Card that's already expired. Okay, we're in the validation. Notes. Here are notes. Okay, we are going to go ahead and select and submit. And of course, it's not letting me move forward at all. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Okay, the fact that it didn't give me a new instance, let me just do a reset. Let me see if it will give me a new one free of any issues. And we'll try again. We'll see if we can get it to work. Sorry that I'm kind of taking a little bit of time from the next module to try to see if I can get this to work. To be honest, I don't know if I had received any email. Yeah, okay. I want to make sure that my um, yeah, I'm not surprised. I made the um, I made this comment, yesterday. So, I mean, I highly doubt that anyone is working at Pega over on the weekend. So, if they are, then ooh. Um, so I would imagine that they would um, they would maybe get to my message on Monday. Okay, we'll try this again. Now, most likely the username is already kind of added as a field, so if I do just an author, yeah, there it is. So, uh, now we'll try this one last time. If it doesn't work, then we'll move on. Hopefully it will work. I can complete the challenge, and then the um, getting the indicator that I've completed this entire mission, you know, will be complete at the very end. But we'll see. So we'll see if we can get it to work. If not, like I said, we'll move on to the duplicate search here and work on that. So still loading. For anybody that has worked on Pega, get used to this. Or for those of you that haven't worked with Pega, get used to loading screens, especially if you have a really bad connection to the server that is hosting your Pega development environment. All right. On that. There it goes. Okay. I can see that the service no longer has the um, doesn't have the process there, so that's good. That shows that, it indeed cleared um, the previous instance. So there we go. Same field name. So I'm just gonna kind of paste it again. Um, and then change that to service. There we go. And then we will delete that service. And that was it for that, right? I just need to save it. Yeah, saved. Okay. Now we are going to go on over to the service case type, settings, make sure that we are in general. We unclick the show in new menu, and then we save. There wasn't any additional changes there, so um, now it says to log out and log back in. I read somewhere that, we want to go back to the systems request and save it there as well. So let me go on and take care of that. Saving that, and then we will go ahead and log off. And let me go ahead and get the password again. There we go. All right. And now we confirm the work. So we go to preview. We see that service is not there under create. We click on the assistance request. We are going to go through everything, fill out all the fields and so on and so forth. So there's no, um, there won't be any kind of mistaking, you know, and hence maybe, some maybe residual effects or something along those lines. Like if, for example, it might have been saying like, oh, hey, sure, you might have gotten, this one thing correct for this one, but all the other um, requests that you did in the past, we're still having issues with that, so we're gonna flag it, and error out or something like that. Technically, it shouldn't be doing that, but you know, um, but I wouldn't be 100% sure on that either. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna make that assumption, or I'm not gonna be like, this is definitely what's happening. No, that's, I'm saying, hey, it might be a possibility that it might be trying to reference everything, that has already been made somehow, some way. Um, you know, it shouldn't be doing that, but okay, so everything is filled out, everything's looking good. We don't have any other issues there. We click on go. We got some notes, which we'll put some notes in. We approve that. We have the information here, so we'll go ahead and select that. And once again, create child case. There's not a single damn thing that I can do about this at this point. So I don't know. Um, so I can't complete this challenge at this time. Like not at all, which is unfortunate because um, in order to, in a sense, complete the at building extended, you have to have completed on all of these. And if creating a child case isn't being flagged as completed here, then um, technically, you won't be able to get this, you know, check mark down here. So for example, let me go back to the previous mission here, right? Um, when you're looking at the, system architect, when you go to the low code ad builder, which is being marked as completed, right? I, scroll on down and, uh, well, it's not really showing the logo, um, but, typically it gives you like a little indicator badge that, you've completed said mission. So, uh, it's not, it won't be able to give me that because one challenge is not completed. So, not much I can really do about it. So, but we got 15 more minutes left. Let me go ahead and try to rush through, um, this particular module and maybe even the module quiz and hope that we can um, finish these off so you will have new content in when I upload this to YouTube. So, or have this particular portion on my playlist. So, okay, duplicate search. Duplicate cases. A user may create a case that has the same data values as another case in the system. For example, two purchase requests may have the same request date and list of items, or the same customer name. In this scenario where a specific combination of data values or unique identifiers match, the new case may be a duplicate. In another example, a healthcare services application handles requests to authorize insurance coverage for surgical procedures. A hospital administrator calls the insurance company to request an authorization code for a patient's knee surgery on March 18th. The day before, the physician's assistant sent a fax requesting a pre-authorization for the same patient, surgeon, and surgery date. When the second request comes in by phone to the insurance company operator recognizes it as a duplicate and resolves it with a status of resolved duplicate. The insurance company operator updates the original request and provides the hospital administrator with the existing authorization code. Um, Search duplicate cases step. Pega platform provides a search duplicate cases process to help users identify and resolve duplicate cases. This process is implemented in the case lifecycle as a search duplicate cases step. When a case enters the step, the system uses basic conditions and weighted conditions to compare specific property values with cases already present in the system. In the following image, click the plus icons to read how Pega Platform processes the search duplication cases step. So, basic conditions. When a case enters the search duplicate cases step, the system evaluates the basic conditions to limit the number of cases that are checked as duplicates. Existing cases may meet all basic conditions for the current case to be considered a potential duplicate. Does an existing case meet the basic condition? No. Then the search duplicate case ends. step ends. If no matches are returned for the basic conditions, the search duplicate cases step ends and the current case continues to the next step in the process. Alright. Does the sum meet or exceed the threshold value? Weighted conditions. If cases are found that meet the basic conditions, the system continues to evaluate the weighted conditions. Each condition has a value between 1 and 100 to indicate the relative importance of a condition when making the comparisons. For each condition that evaluates to true, the system adds the weighted value, and if the total for the case exceeds or meets or exceeds the threshold value, the case is flagged as a potential duplicate. Um, Once again, I mean, they don't really need to um, repeat, um, repeat this. I mean, the fact that they already have one window that handles the search duplicate cases and step ends, I mean, you don't need a second one here, or you don't need the second box here to show the exact same thing. If no existing cases reach the duplicate threshold value, the search duplicate cases step ends and the case continues to the next step in the process. I mean, the only thing that's different between these two is the fact that this one's talking about the weighted. I mean, if you didn't really need this for this. I mean, you can clearly see the fact that hey, you know, this this ends the step, this ends the step. You can pretty much have both of them do the exact, have the same exact message. You don't really need to worry about it too much, but let's move on. Display potential duplicate cases. Existing cases that reach the duplicate threshold value are displayed for the user to review and decide whether one of them is a duplicate. Okay, so you have, you know, you display all the duplicates that are coming from both of these conditions, right? So um, if you ignore it, then you're basically saying that, it is not a duplicate and you can continue. Um, Side the current case is not a duplicate and continue to the next step in the process. Um, or you can basically say, hey, this is a duplicate. We don't need to continue. The user may decide the current case doesn't match one of the potential does match one of the potential duplicates. Case will then be resolved as a duplicate and processing terminated. So customizations to the search duplicate step behavior. When a user decides the current case is a duplicate, they can resolve it with a resolved duplicate status, and processing of the case terminates. Processing can be customized to enable the user to open the original case to make any necessary updates. An example of the health care services application, the patient date of birth is the basic condition. Um, Surgeon name, surgery type, procedure date are weighted conditions with a value of 25 each and a threshold of 50. The system displays the case entered on March 18th as a duplicate because the date of birth, surgeon name, surgical type, procedure date, and procedure match the values in the original case, and because the total weighted condition value is 100, exceeding the matching threshold of 50, the user decides that the second request is a duplicate and resolves the case as resolved duplicate. The user then continues with the initial case and provides the hospital administrator with the original authorization code. Um, Now here's the thing that might be um, a little bit of a problem with this particular issue here, or something along those lines, right? You might have where it involves a twin of some way, you know. Um, date of birth, surgeon name, surgical type, procedure date, procedure match could be, or and procedure, um, you know, could be like a twin, with the same doctor, the same surgeon, you know, doing the same kind of surgery on the same day, not necessarily same hour, obviously, but I mean, um, maybe they're a twin that is connected in some fashion or another, you know, and they're trying to do surgery to separate the conjoined twins. Then how are you going to process that in the health services application, right? Because you have two people that are, in a sense different, but matches everything there. So obviously, that is a very extreme outlier, but it still might be there. So um, so you might want to have a little bit more here than just the date of birth of the individual in question. Like maybe have, social security number or the time of, time of the procedure, not necessarily just the date. Now, the date in Pega might actually also include the time as well. So, but I mean, let's bear in mind that um, it might go down to the millisecond too. Um, so you might have to have a little bit of a um, like a check on whether or not that procedure date is quote unquote the same. So um, okay, what's this all about? Duplicate case analysis. Um, let's see, date of birth, surgeon name, surgical type, procedure, procedure date. Okay, you're basically showing a image of what you just stated right up there. Okay, you know. Okay, let's see. What time is it right now? 2:55. Okay, we got about 5 more minutes. Let's see if we can get through both this and the module quiz. Okay. Um, when the total value for a blank in a case meets or exceeds the threshold value, the case is identified as a potential duplicate. Um, the search duplicate cases step. Wait, what? Oh, no, it's the weighted conditions. Never mind. There we go. Sorry. Um, because I mean, even basic conditions can, cause it to be a, potential duplicate as well, but they're looking for, the total value. So, yeah. Silly me, stupid me. Went a little too fast on that. Um, Now when you're going to the certification, try to take it, try to be calm. I know it's a test. It's, typically multiple choice, so you shouldn't have. Well, I mean, you're still gonna have to consider all your choices and the like, but take it slow, take it one at a time. If you don't know the answer to a question, see if you can move on to the next question and go back to it. Okay, so um, management reports that a large number of cases are incorrectly identified as potential duplicates. Which two approaches can you use to modify the duplicate case search process to reduce the number of potential duplicates identified? Um, adjust the condition weights, increase the threshold value, increase the weights for all basic conditions. Do not use a basic condition. Add a second search duplicate cases step to filter out invalid duplicates. Um, let's see. Um, I mean, you kind of want to use a basic condition, so keep that in mind. Actually, I don't really know on this one. This one seems that, I'm not quite sure if did they really cover that in the last in the module before? I don't know if they really, talked about it too much about that. So, um, I mean, you can adjust the condition weights, um, but I mean that might not necessarily mean much, you know. Um, I would almost say, add a second search duplicate case step to filter out invalid duplicates. Um, you know, but apparently that's not the right answer there. Okay. Um, you want to use the basic condition to handle, you know, to reduce down the number of potential duplicates, or at least one would imagine. Um, I guess you could probably increase the weights for all basic conditions and um, hmm, increase the threshold value. Um, you might want to do the threshold value as well. So basically, what it is that if um, concerning the one where it's like 25 points per, right? What they're basically saying is if you're the doctor, the procedure date, if those match, then that might not necessarily qualify as a potential duplicate. So you need to add, you know, like another uh, condition that is matching to go beyond that threshold value. So instead of like the 50, like two things are matching, maybe you need three things to match. So, um, and there isn't any weights in basic conditions when I think about it, so it might be just these two here. So let me undo that. You want to evaluate cases as potential duplicates when the existing cases and the current case have the same create operator. How can you ensure that only cases with the same create operator are evaluated? Add a basic condition that uses the create operator value and apply a weight of 100. I mean, that, that might not necessarily be the case there. Um, uh, hmm, Yeah, so you want to have a weighted condition that uses the create operator value, an equals operator to, compare the two, and then a weight of 100. But apparently that's not the case here. Weighted condition alone does not have enough specificity. Specific, I can't really say that word very well. Specificity. To identify cases that are true potential duplicates. Okay. Um, it would probably be this one then. A customer service representative opens a refund request case, determines if it is duplicate, and resolves it. The current case status changes to resolve duplicate. What happens to the case next? Um, Processing for the case terminates. Now, I'm not quite sure about the first two questions, but apparently I got them right. Okay. But here's here's the thing. Um, because, you know, I made the error of selecting this one first, I would have failed that on the certification. Okay. There is no feedback on the certification test, so make sure that you understand that um, um, if they ask this style of question, you're looking at the um, basic condition to um, you know check if both are the same. So now here's the thing. Um, One should be able to, or at least in my mind, you should still be able to do the exact same condition, with a basic condition, the same as a weighted condition. You should be able to do that. Okay. Now, obviously, it's not the best because a basic condition is just like, is it true? Is it false? That, you're done. You don't need to worry about adding a weight to it. But, I mean, if have a weighted condition that basically says, hey, are these both the same? If so, at a weight of 100. I mean, why should that be a problem? Um, Not sure. Um, so when you resolve a duplicate, the case status goes to resolve duplicate, right? You shouldn't need, as it says here, process the case terminates. You shouldn't need to worry about working on it because it's duplicate. So running it to a manager is pointless because, again, duplicate. Duplicate cases are automatically merged into one case that could be, like potentially problematic. You know, um, you might have conflicting information in both of them, so don't really want to do that. Um, or the description of the procedure or something like that might be slightly worded differently or something like that. Like one might be coming from the doctor, one might be coming from the nurse, and maybe there's a little bit. more, um, maybe, there's like a difference in um, terminology or something like that. Maybe, I'm just throwing that out there, folks. I'm neither a doctor nor a nurse, so, but I'm just saying trying to merge both of them into a single case might be, potentially problematic because then how would you evaluate, the, um, any medical notes that come along, right? Now you might look at it and go, well, hey, the um, maybe we want to take the doctor's notes over the nurse's notes or something like that. Then maybe you need to adjust, you know, uh, maybe you need to account for that in the whole, determining weights and stuff like that. But yeah, and then again, you don't necessarily want them to potentially be merged, so moving it to a queue is absolutely pointless. So, um, and this one, you want to adjust the condition weights and you want to increase the threshold value. Okay. Um, you don't want to, you want to use a basic condition, you know, to try to, weed out potential duplicates. And obviously, there is no weights in basic conditions, so both of those should be, you know, both of those are incorrect. So, um, okay, but that's it. Um, we've completed the identifying of duplicate cases here. I'll have to keep in contact with Pega about the um, about creating a child case because obviously, that is a problem. And they keep on getting messages about this particular topic, and um, we are running the steps that they are saying that we should be running. So there is a problem in their process. So they need to take another look at this particular challenge and try to get it resolved. So, but tomorrow we'll be doing the adding a duplicate case type search for the challenge tomorrow. Um, and if we complete all that, in a timely manner, then we'll move on to the module after that. But for the time being, that's going to be it for our Pega studying session. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to some video uploads and the like. But for those of you that are, watching this for the Pega studying session, then, I would welcome any comments that you might have, any questions that you might have. Feel free to answer any of mine if you're, especially if you are experienced in Pega, you're a trainer, or you're from Pega itself. I welcome um, any input on that. I also, you know, like I mentioned, I'll take any kind of questions that you might ask. I'll, if I know the answer, then I'll provide it. If I don't, then I'll see about trying to find someone that might have an answer for you. Um, or we'll go from there. We'll try to um, we'll maybe we can try to figure out the answer between the two of us. So or multiple people, whatever, what have you, right? Um, we'll work it out. You know, um, if I don't know, I won't know. I'll let you know that um, you know, um, I might not have I might not have the answer, which could be quite often. That is going to be it for this session. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording right now, though.